Hello everyone and welcome to a new edition of our vlog, Buburuza Productions TV. This is episode 22 and I am Bogdan.
I'm John.
And in this vlog we are talking about goals. Was it hard to put it together?
Yeah, I mean, we were terrible last year with goals. I mean, we had done them, which is, I guess, a good start, but we didn't pay attention to them. And so this year we're kind of convinced that we're going to do better at goals, at least tracking them. So I guess one of the first things we need to talk about, and obviously New Year is the time when we set goals, and it's important to understand the definitions around them because different people use goals in different ways. And so when we're talking about goals, we're saying that a goal is something that is a general statement. It ties directly to our mission and vision, and it's kind of a more general statement of what we believe and what we want to achieve. An objective, it kind of falls under that, and the objective is the really specific, actionable, measurable activity with a statement with a time-sensitive nature. So that's the specificity coming through, reflecting that more generalized goal. And then under the objective we have activities, and those activities are the specific things that happen that make that objective work so that the goal is met. Once you meet your goal, you're not done. I mean, if you meet your goal, if you undersell, write your goal, and you succeed in that goal very quickly, that doesn't mean you coast for the rest of the year. You just build on it. Those are general baseline measurements.
Shall we share our goals?
Yeah, we could talk about our goals, and we came up with them.
How many do we have? I think
We've
we
got
have
five. We want to make sure that it's reasonable and doable.
Goal number 1 is to establish ourselves as thought leaders within our community. What does that mean?
Well, obviously, in order for us to excel and do well and do all of the things we want to do, we need to be considered leaders in our community, particularly within the video community. That doesn't mean that we're the best. It doesn't mean that we're going to step on anyone else. But people have to respect us as the professionals that we are. So in order to do that, we've got kind of a media plan that we're putting together. That's part of one of our objectives. We're going to get some sort of fan base, followers. Hopefully you'll subscribe, and we're also going to write a book or two, at least one this year, and that will help to give us those credentials in the community to say, yeah, we actually know what we're doing and know what we're talking about, and we're worth knowing. Goal number 2? To employ the best financial and business practices. So one of the things we noticed is, we're just starting out. We have gone to hire a bookkeeping service for the first time. We're looking at getting that kind of professional input because that's not something we particularly do well, and it takes a lot of our time away. So the other thing is that we have created a budget. We had a budget last year. We came pretty darn close to meeting our projected goals last year. We actually surpassed them. So we're actually going to make sure that we're actually monitoring and following our budget throughout the year.
Goal number 3 is to strategically plan for long-term financial success. This is to come with ways to diversify our income.
Right.
To come to create basically passive income. In the past we did have a channel of passive income, and that is stock photography. But we should be more creative, and we should not rely only on one channel.
Right. I mean, we've worked with stock photography both in video and in photographs for several years now, and we maintain pretty much the same income from stock photography. So it does work. It just, when we put double the amount of time and effort in, we don't get double the amount. We still get the same amount. So we've kind of, we realized what stock photography is going to do for us at this point in our lives, and so it's time to diversify. We need to get some other channels of income that are not so seasonally dependent as we seem to find that our work is. It's now winter. You know, if you're doing real estate photography in winter, the trees don't have any leaves on them. It's not as pretty as it is in the spring. And we're also going to try and invest a little. We're going to start playing with some day trading, put a little money aside to play with the stock market, and just really try and diversify some of those sources of income.
Goal number 4.
Number 4 is to maintain a positive, healthy, and productive work environment. We really love the fact that we got this apartment / office downtown. Having a place to come and work it turns out is pretty important to us, and we're really enjoying that. And so we want to make sure that we've got the best equipment that we can afford, and the best processes in our workflow, and the best environment, so that we're working in a positive place, and we spend a lot of time here.
And especially when your field is creativity, it's important how your space, your working space is like, and where, so that you can get inspired every day, and you can find your place every day to be productive. And goal number 5, to enhance our knowledge and creative output.
One of the things we need to guarantee is that we're going to keep moving on the creative, artistic side of our business, so that we are fed as artists in addition to being fed as working folks as well.
We need to stay creative and do something for yourself, for your own collection, so that it's getting out there with a camera and find new ways to see the world, and create a collection out of it.
And I think this happens to a lot of people. We've spent a lot of time this year running the business, and that's great. When you're an artist in a creative field, there's nothing more soul-sucking when you want to be out there being creative than to be doing receipts and bookkeeping. So
saying that, those are our 5 goals this year. I asked John to make a big print and put it on the wall, and always remember and always go to them and refer to them, so that we can't lose them.
And we're going to kind of bring that into our monthly meetings. We have a special meeting once a month where we actually go somewhere, so that we're not sitting in the same office, and we have an official business meeting. And so the goals are now going to be a part of that business meeting every month, so that we don't just ignore them as we did last year. Yeah.
And I forgot to mention something. Since last I've seen you on camera, you are a lot thinner.
I know, 45 pounds and counting.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Yeah, not only have I lost weight, but I am no longer diabetic. So that's really, really good news. Thanks to Vicki LeBeau in Texas Last Diet, an ideal protein franchise here in the Woodlands. So thanks, Vicki. You saved my life.
So, shall we talk about the overall budget of this year?
So I think it's really important. I've worked for a lot of places over my years, and it's really important to look at a budget and how it reflects the values and goals of an organization. Because sometimes a company can talk a good talk, but when you look at how they actually spend their money, there's a disconnect. So we wanted to look at, okay, we've come up with a budget for 2018. Does it match? How does it match against what we said our goals were and our mission and vision are for the company? And so we've done that. We've turned it into a chart. And what we found is about 85% of our money is going into running the business. Now, that also includes some savings and paying taxes and paying the bills and doing all the running of the business. So 85% of our money is going to that. I don't know, is that appropriate? I think it sounds right.
If you guys have other ideas, why don't you?
I'd love to know if you guys think that's the right percentage.
Yeah.
Now, the other 15% is going into the kind of developmental things. It's going into becoming that thought leader we talked about. So about 7% of our budget is going into building networking and building those kinds of events where we're speaking publicly and that we're actually inviting people and having parties and things like that. So that's 7% of our budget. About another 7 is that financial growth bit that is looking at diversity and coming up with various streams of income. So we're going to put about 7% of our money toward that as well. And then only 1% is going into education and development, professional development. That doesn't sound like a lot. Again, if you've got some input, we'd love to hear it. That's where it's kind of shaking out right now. And I really feel like at 85% of the company running the company, that sounds right. Carving out another 15% for the developmental, I'd like it to be more, but that's what we're setting up. And I feel good about it.
I'm pretty sure there are a lot of folks who are watching us right now that have been in business a longer time than we do. And if you want to share with us, how do you share your budget? That'd be very helpful.
Yeah, we'd love to have that conversation. So that's where we are. I think we're set for the year. We've got some goals. We'd love to have you join us. Please subscribe, leave comments, follow us here and on social media. You can check out our website. Where is that website?
About here.
Amazing, every time. And so other than that, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Bye now.
Bye.